show you guys the Sensory Sculpture Room, which is basically set up to where everybody can touch and feel. So everything in here is touchable and feelable, and so if you're deaf or you're blind or you're very young and creative and all different ways. So they got the traditional materials, and again, you can go and you're allowed to touch these things, and it gives you the different feelings of the, so these are the wood, and then we get into stone, and this is about sculpturing, and then there's metal here and there, and then down here is the clay, so that looks like this. And then these are the ones that I love also. Over here is the sculpture toolkit, and so they do have little securities on it. But yeah, so you can kind of see what everybody. It is a permanent collection. It's been here for years, but they just redid it, so that's why it's all brand new. Again, you can touch and feel the different types of woods and run your fingers across them. But what I love is everything is touchable, so no hands off here. Everything is encouraged to be touched and to feel, and just, you know, so how often do you get to feel actually different materials and sculptures? And some of these were done by Wolverhampton sculptures. So again, you're allowed to touch it and feel it, and if you're blind, you can look at the different features on this. And they also have audio information. The marble is cold today. I would say it's a bit chilly today, but they have quite large font when it comes to the writing of it, and not too much information, but enough. And then you can listen to the stories if you want, and the different versions are here. And I like the fact that they have the minutes listed, so you know how long you're going to be lasting. And I'm going to say, yeah, this is probably Billy Wright, who's a local footballer, and he's quite well known in Wolverhampton. So it's tying in, you know, all these different things that you can touch and play, and then you can. Let's just try to think. You look at a bronze sculpture, and then you try to arrange the pieces of wood to create your own sculptures. And again, it's all about the touching and the playing and doing. This one's one of my favorites. I do love this one. Again, you can touch it and you can feel it. So imagine if you're hard of seeing, you can actually get a feel for the sculptures and how the features are. And then over here, we have more. And you can see where some people touch that the most. Some people touch there most. They probably go like that, or you can go like this, and you can get. But this is unique because this is actually. I'm gonna have to show you what it is because I can't pronounce it. Listening, but it's almost like a metal with a wood. So that part is wood. But again, I'm allowed to touch it. I'm allowed to do that. And then this base is wood. So I'm just gonna show you that. And then this is an old woman, and again, she'll have different features than the man did. So if somebody's hard of seeing, you can do that. And throughout that, again, you have the audio information, and you have the bigger print information that's available. And then you have little activities to run. So you look at the sculpture and you see the kind of material, and I'm supposed to figure out the material, which I won't embarrass myself and try to figure that out. Again, you're touching, you're feeling, and you're looking. This one's wood. So this one's a completely different feel and structure. So I'll pan out that way so you can see it. But again, I'm allowed to touch. I'm encouraged to touch it. And that one's quite nice because as I touched it, I just noticed that there's indents in the eyes, which I didn't realize before. So you got the ears and a little bit of different base. This is stone. So we just went. So throughout the room, so we just started there. Actually, I lied. We started there, and we're kind of walked your way around. I went this way. And you can't do this room wrong. You can do it any way you want. And now we're in stone. So again, I'm allowed to touch. I'm allowed to look at the features. Yay! You can finally see it. Yeah. So this is stone. And They're just still opening up, but you can, again, it's another activity that you're allowed to have, and they have the exhibition is actually, it's a permanent exhibition on sensory sculpture for people who can't see or can't hear. Young people love this. And again, we have another one. And one of the things that I love is this is in Wolverhampton Art Gallery in Wolverhampton. And they actually have a lot of people who did this. So they actually have an area dedicated just to the Wolverhampton master sculptures, apparently there's a lot of, but they also have this area here which changes, and it's the guest sculpture area. For visually, anything especially in the visually. I don't know the question, I'm sorry. Maybe answer that again. So again, this is a guest sculpture. So this changes. This is probably the only area, but so local Wolverhampton sculptures get to place their things here. So, you know, in years to come, they'll be in this art gallery. One of my favorite pieces is here. I don't know if you can see, it's like teeth on a cord. But again, you can touch it, you can feel it, and the texture of this part is completely different than this part. But just look how random it is. It's like, why would you do that? I'll show you the name of it, so you can get it. And again, you have 3, 2, and 1 minute audios that you can listen to. So if you prefer to listen to it, or you can have a big font. That was a poetry one. Yeah, that's Clive Baker, but yeah, completely random. And then in this area is the hands-on kids area, which is a little bit for younger people, but again, the things are a little bit lower down. And I like these furnitures. So yeah, they can do certain things. I'm trying to show you, but there are seats and there's playing, and there's sculpture stuff there. And then here, you can make junk sculpture. So the kids are encouraged to make their own sculptures with like random items that they see. And what kind of sculpture would they build? And what would they build? And this part, the base of this is actually magnetic. So I'm not sure if that's coming off. And they leave their posters and things there. And then that. And then this poor fella. This guy's been around for a long time. I don't really know the history of it, but even when they redesigned it, there was like a big discussion on whether they bring this horse back or not. But again, he's touchable, and you're allowed to feel him, and everybody loves him. I think you can tell. Everybody really loves him. Maybe a bit too much because he's a little bit manky, but he's loved. He's loved. But again, you're allowed to touch him. It's not, you can't touch it. That is something, who knows? But again, you got this piece here, which is quite large, and you are allowed and encouraged to touch it. So nothing here is not allowed to be touched. Some of these things, which are, I just said this, but now they're not allowed to. But some of the things that is more educational, which some people want, they still actually have a piece. That's a really nice touch. They have a piece outside of that cabinet, which is still touchable, and that's for anybody who's local in Shropshire. That is the Ludlow Castle that is on that. So, and Ludlow Castle is not that far, probably about an hour away from here. I'll step over. So yeah, so I'll just swing by one last time so you guys can have it. So it's about sculptures, but it's bringing out accessibility for visually impaired and people who have hearing issues or different learning skills is met here. And I know when they originally did this, it was because one of the local people was having a hard time with seeing, and they created a community group and they designed this room, the original room, and they just recently redid it. So I would say in the last year or so, this has all been redone. And I love that Wolverhampton is really known for its sculptures, amongst other things, pop art and Northern Ireland. So hope you enjoyed this little stuff over here. I am going to end on one of these guys. We'll go end on here. Okay. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.